Well, welcome back to another episode of a random queer girl talking about video game consoles that have not been sold in stores for like a decade. This topic is, of course, the Wii U, Nintendo's favorite tax write-off. Well, so, I have a Wii U. Unfortunately, I have a Wii U. Now, when I say I have a Wii U, there's probably two types of people who are going to respond. People who are going to share their sympathy because I have a Wii U, or people who are probably going to accuse me of being a poser and only getting a Wii U because it's cool now. The Wii U is an interesting console. It's one that I've wanted to use for quite a while, actually. And I got one back in 2025. It's 2026 now. A year passed. Time progresses. And so I'm making this video in 2026. And the thumbnail is the exact same thumbnail that I would have been using last time, but with the 2026. Well, enough padding. I guess, let's talk about the Wii U. I guess. It's like the forgotten middle child. It's just there. Then, of course, obviously, there's probably a few questions. Is the Wii U still worth getting in 2026? Are the games good? What are some good things about it? What really went wrong? Enough with the questions, we're just here to complain about the Wii U. Jokes aside, I personally think a Wii U is still worth getting in 2026. There's a lot of Wii games and Wii U games that aren't on the Switch. Now, sure, as time progresses, that will probably happen. Nintendo has been... They've been... allowing for emulation for some of their older games through NSO. If only they could be on an eShop like their 3DS. That would have been much better. But of course, it's Nintendo. Nintendo works in mysterious ways. But I personally think a Wii U is still worth getting in 2026. The reasons are, you can play Mass Effect 3 on it, and you can play Call of Duty on it. Not mentioned, I do like to look at the discs. The gamepad is really fun. The consoles, it's an interesting look for a console. And the backwards compatibility helps. Being able to play Wii games on it saves me money on having to get a Wii. Until I want to play GameCube games. Then I'm kind of fucked. But the Wii U library, I feel like, is very underrated. Even for me. There's a lot of games that I see on it that I quickly realized that, yeah, these honestly look really fantastic. And I kind of feel guilty for kind of forgetting about them existing. Of course, that's not to say that it's completely perfect. I mean, you have Mario Kart on this one. But, of course, not being a smartass aside, the Wii U is flawed with some of its exclusives. For the first few years, the Wii U actually seemed to be really good with third-party games. I mean, you got stuff like Assassin's Creed 3, Black Flag, Call of Duty, Black Ops 2, Ghosts, one of the Batman games, Mass Effect 3, Resident Evil Revelations 1. But after a bit, third-party releases just kind of seem to stagger on the Wii U, which is kind of unfortunate because it's a fun console. Well, first-party releases have always been fairly good on the Wii U. I will definitely say some of my favorite games were on the Wii U. I like Mario Kart 8. That's still on the Wii U. Mario Party 10 was a really fun game, and I was Smash Bros. For Wii U. I love New Super Mario Bros. U and Super Mario 3D World. For the first party exclusives, they were really good. I mean, heck, you even have Bayonetta 2 on a Wii U, and was on a Wii U for quite a bit until the Switch came out. Of course, that said, the Switch is definitely a lot better when it comes to third-party games. Same with the Switch too. As much flack as these consoles have gotten, especially me included, I'm gonna put myself in an equation like an algebra problem. It's unneeded, but I still want to be there. The Switch has a better library. That's just a given. Even without future releases that had been on the Switch, in its first year alone, the Switch had some really impressive games, and some of the series that I named do have a lot of entries on that, excluding Call of Duty and Mass Effect. I really wish that they had those on that. But the Assassin's Creed series has several games on the Switch, and and Resident Evil has most Resident Evil games are on the Switch at this point too. So if only the Wii U did get these, it would have been cool. Of course, it's not all bad when it comes to the Wii U. I mean, for the most part, the exclusives were good. Backwards compatibility was nice. But also how you use the console. I mean, the gamepad can be used as a touchpad, and it can be used as a second controller for some games. You can also use Wii remotes too. Naturally, some games also require the remotes for certain parts, like Mario Party. And now, overall, I think the Wii U was an interesting console, but it was flawed. I think the reason why it really failed was just the fact that it didn't really have an identity outside of being a Wii U successor. And to be honest, this was actually one of the reasons why I was nervous about the Switch 2 releasing, is that, the Wii and the Switch were marvelous consoles in their own right. And then they have a sequel. And the question is, like, would they have really lived up to what the original consoles did? I mean, the Switch is certainly living up to it. I was actually playing something on it before, and it's a fun console, and I like the UI for it. Although it can have things though that would be lit. But the Wii U was an interesting console. Well, it did fail. It did have a lot of potential, and I think a lot of people are seeing that. Unfortunately, there's also a lot of people who just are never gonna give the Wii U a shot. But I personally recommend it to anyone who is even slightly curious about the Wii U. Just get one. Get a few games. Play them. See how you feel about it. I mean, even if it's just games that you've already played, like, some of the first games I played were ones I already completed. So once I got it were games I had for years at that time. Like, I had a copy of Ghosts, Call of Duty Ghosts, since 2019. But yeah, I'll go get another copy of Ghosts on a Wii U. That game was fun. I'll go get Mass Effect 3 again. I'll go get Tokyo Mirage Sessions, even though I have it on the Switch, and even though it's probably going to be a bit of a better experience. But the Wii U is a fun console. And I really do love it. I can't really hate this one. Honestly, I can't really hate any game console, even if it might be a least favorite. But hopefully as time goes on, hopefully the Wii U does get more recognition for being the underrated gem that it was. I've been having a lot of fun with mine. Well, some of the games on it generally are not the best, and, well, a lot of its exclusives did get ported over to the Switch. And most of its third-party stuff might be on other consoles too. I still think it's a really interesting console, and especially with the first-party library. Well, the third-party library did kind of falter out towards the end of it. The first-party library did feel like it stayed strong throughout the Wii's existence. And I look back at that and it makes me happy. We got so many awesome games on there. And while it is unfortunate that it did not have as much of a lifespan, I also think that it was a really fun era for Nintendo. It was fun being a Nintendo fan during this time. And still is. And with the Wii U becoming a retro game console, which, believe me, it really hurts me to say that the console that came out in 2012 is a retro console. Like, literally, there's games on it that are still being sold today in stores. Like The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, is still being sold in stores brand new. It hurts to think about that. But of course, excluding all of that, the Wii U was an interesting console, and hopefully as time goes on, it begins to be remembered more as the gem it was, and hopefully it encourages more people to go out and get one, since getting one would probably be relatively easy now, and with the console not having any new games published on it, it'd be easy to really start a collection on that one. The console really offers a lot to people. No matter what your interests are, I feel like you could find something on a Wii U that would catch your interest. I myself only really got this console just so I'll just honestly say I could play a few stuff I had on Switch already and Call of Duty, and that's really it. But as time went on, I found myself playing Mario Party on this. Or I found myself, wanting to play Zelda on this, or Splatoon, or Star Fox, or other games, and it's generally a fun console, and I seriously do urge people to really go out and get one. Even if you just play Wii stuff on it, it's still a fun console. Except for the sense bars. Those things kind of suck sometimes. But that's my thoughts on the Wii U. I'll probably do more thoughts on other consoles as time goes on. But until then, thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful day. I will, of course, be back next time with more videos, so stay tuned for those.